overseer of Krachin Kwanta district, and he was our regional apostle. For me, it was a great opportunity. And believe me, I took in as much from him as I could. Mama also took me like a son. In fact, at a point, some of the pastors in the region began to, in quotes, envy me. Because my district was Krachin Kwanta, far away. Sometimes it could take us 3 days to reach the regional heads. And I always made it a point not to return immediately on arrival. So, anytime I got there, I had to spend a day over. And after Mommy had served the food, the meal, he would come and invite me to eat with my apostle. And definitely, when some of the pastors came around and saw this young Abulai boy who was here eating with the regional head, and not only that, if those days when I got around, if he had an evening program somewhere, he would say, Mike, come, let's go. So I had double advantage. The love, the ability to spot people, as Apostle Kobedu said, was so great. Sometimes, let me put it this way. Sometimes, when we are about to go in for conventions, regional conventions, those days there were no mobile phones, but he would always have a means of prompting me to prepare for something to teach or to preach on. This was necessary because back in those days, when the pastors in the region gathered to prepare for the conventions, at a point in time, the apostle would ask them, who among you has something to preach or something to do? And you will regret it as an overseer if you were quick to say, I have something to say. So we had to allow the big men to, oh, I have a teaching on this, oh, I have this, oh, I have that, oh, I have that. Then we will all have to wait. In fact, you would count yourself blessed if you had the opportunity to lead prayer after the meeting or to lead a worship. You count yourself blessed. But somehow, after having said all that, he would say, yeah, Mike, do you have something to share? And I'll scratch my head and say, yes, please. Yeah. What is it? When I mentioned, they was, oh, yeah. Michael's point is very, very good, and I think we must give him a place. And I kept wondering how he did it. But later, it wasn't long before I got to know his secret. If you visited the mission house overnight and the next morning you wanted to talk to him very early, you must prepare to wait until 10 a.m. Because the man will be singing and praying and praying and praying. So, I also decided that I will adopt that strategy for myself. I found special times to go hide, pray, fast for days, receive from the Lord, and prepare myself. And I was glad when in very little ways the Lord began speaking to me about people, about individuals. This man is good for this man is good for that, this is good for that. I learned all those things from him. I pray that in all our busyness, we must endeavor to have special times before the Lord, time to receive. If you don't have that time and you keep on giving and giving and giving and giving and preaching, you become dry. And your ministry will not be very productive. That just as we thought we were going to enjoy so much from him, pretty soon the white paper came that he was to be transferred from us in the Volta region to go study in the UK. To me, it felt like a loss. In fact, one of the senior pastors came over and threatened, Michael, your father is gone. True. Your father is gone. The one coming is my man. You see. I took them seriously because as a young overseer, 26 years or 27 years old, if a senior pastor who had ministered for 20, 25 years told you that your dad is gone, the man who is coming is his own man, and you will see. Look, it was no joke. But in brief, we give praise to God that in all that we had to do, the Lord, in his goodness, also opened the way for me to come and work directly under him. As a missionary, first in Liberia, but properly from Côte d'Ivoire when the missions board was established and he was the international missions director. I learned to prepare, to plan, draw my goals, aspirations, showed it to him. He would encourage me, go ahead. He's a man who develops people. He's able to identify talents, spot them, bring them to the limelight, and release them to work. All round and round and round again, we parted company. He had to go and study for his master's, and I was transferred to France. At the point, our fathers allowed me to go and study for my master's degree in the UK on a modular basis. And then I met him in the UK. He was very happy that I had decided to study. He encouraged me along those lines. I was also very happy that he was continuing to study at the PhD level. So we often had interactions together. Then came that fateful year, 1998, when the church had to meet and elect a chairman to take over from our own father, Prophet M.K. Yeboah. I decided not to attend the conference, the convention, the council. And on the line, I had a change of mind. And you all know what happened. I was elected as chairman. I cried my heart out. Oh God, the fathers are still around. If the fathers are still around, why should you go for a son? The pastor who baptized me was in the church. The one who recommended me to be ordained as a deacon and elder was in the church, and also recommended into the ministry. They were all in the church. The apostle under whom I served was still there. My own dad, being a student, we knew about most of the things that God had for him. So why would God bypass all these fathers and come for their 40-year-old with little experience as chairman? But when we met, he encouraged me. He strengthened me. He assured me. He granted me every support. In fact, I was never able to call him Apostle or Apostle Prof. Never. I had called him Dad all the way through my chairmanship till now. Some people could easily have sabotaged that young guy for all to know that, oh, look at him. But the fathers around me encouraged me. Apostle Anson, Prophet Apiajekum, and the others encouraged me, strengthened me, until, by the grace of God, we ended our term successfully. Now, when I got into this situation, while at the intensive ward in Paris, he flew over to strengthen me, encourage me. At that time, I knew, because I knew the day I was going to die, I knew the time I was going to die. So his coming was very important to me, because I thought I have something to tell him. He said, Mike, you are not going to die. The Lord will bring you back, and God is not finished with you yet. He's still going to use you. And truly, I've always kept, in fact, I kept asking, Daddy, Papa, very soon you'll be leaving. What are your plans about me? Then he would say, wait, leave it to us. Leave it to the Lord. So, beloved, the church has indeed been blessed. About a year ago, Apostle Wood told me something about the election of our chairman. And he too said, okay, let me leave that with you. He said, the church will also remember you for having presented a very good man as the chairman of the church. Congrats, Papa and Mama. You finished very well, and you're going to add more legacies to the very many and numerous ones which we couldn't enumerate over here. I showed a question I had written to the IMD and said, if I had a time, I was going to ask you, you have refreshed and revitalized worship in the church completely, with not just the themes, but theme songs. In our time, the Lord led us in a different direction to receive the theme, break down the themes into topic, assign them to speakers, bind them together as a book. But he went forward that with every theme, he had theme songs. The Lord will provide us with a chairman, sure. Yeah. But somehow, secretly in my mind, I said, oh, Director, what did I write? I said, I pity the one who comes as chairman after this month. I pity the next chairman. Yeah. Is he going to be able to receive new songs? But I know that God has his own way of doing things. But my question to him is, in case the new chairman doesn't have the gift of receiving songs, will you be available, even on retirement, to provide us with theme songs when you hear from the new chairman? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Amen. All right. Yeah. We are very grateful to Apostle Dr. Ntumy, the immediate past chairman. Some people have asked this question before, but they haven't added the last aspect. But as he said, I believe that there are different chapters. So this is the chapter of the chairmanship of Opoku Onyinah. So when the chapter closes, God will bring another chapter. And that chapter may turn into a different thing altogether. But if God wants us to continue that way, and I'm available, and he gives anything, I am prepared to serve whoever comes along that line. Yes. You will be fully available to the next chairman, rely around him, support him, promote him. Already, it has been my principle that if I take over from somebody, I wouldn't say anything evil about that person. Anything I say about that person should be positive. I try not to say any negative thing at all. Already that one is at the back of my mind. God bless you.
Thank you, Chair. So on that interesting note, we would like to take 15 minutes break. 15 minutes break. So it's 3.